Good evening, good evening. Just going to wait till we get some viewers. Hello, hi Naomi. Oh, we're getting quite a nice crowd in tonight. I like that. Wait till a few more people have joined us. If you want to grab a pad, hello. If you want to grab a pad and a pen, you might want to take some notes and what have you. We've got a question and answer session at the end. If you can keep any questions till the end, I'll go through them then. So yeah, get sat down, get a cup of tea. Begin in a minute or so. Want to give people a few more minutes to get involved. Feel free to, hi Vanessa. Laura, can you hear me now? Yeah? Yes, can everyone hear me? Right, yeah, you can hear me. Just wave if you can hear me. Right, okay. Right, so we've got about 15 people, right? So we're going to have a, hi Matt, so we're going to have a bit of a start now. So welcome to what can only be described as a very low budget version of cribs. You know, when you come to my house and check what's in my fridge, we can do that in a bit. But I've got to start off with what is an apology. And I'm really, really sorry about this. It's because some people have tuned in tonight hoping that I'm going to give them a magic list of ingredients to put in a smoothie they're going to shake up tonight, drink it in the morning, and have a super immune busting shake. And it doesn't actually work like that. Mega dosing vitamins and minerals is not going to help. So when you see these people on Instagram saying, you know, drink this, drink that, drink this, just ignore it. It's not going to work like that. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You won't be the first people I've disappointed, and I dare say you won't be the last. But hey, that's life. So, when I was asked to put this talk together by Carol on how nutrition can impact health, I thought, right, the best thing I can do is have a look at how the most healthy populations on the planet eat, and then I'll take a little bit of each, like some kind of nutritional magpie, put it all together in my own work, and then say to you guys, do this. So I first did, I thought, do what any respected, educated nutritionist would do. I went straight on Google. Yeah, shoot me. So I'm typing around Google, right, thinking, right, oh yeah, fantastic, hit the jackpot. First people, the Kitavans from the Melanesian Islands, right? Low cardiovascular disease, low strokes, low diabetes. I'm thinking, this is fantastic. What do they eat? Let's have a look at what they can do. So, 70% of their diet is high carbohydrates, high carbs. And then with an equally high amount of saturated fats, it's really high saturated fat as well. So I'm thinking, hold on a second, I can't really advise people to eat sweet potatoes covered in coconut oil. It's just not going to work, that. So then I thought, right, look, I'll go again. So type in again. The Maasai tribe from Kenya. Right, so we've all heard of these. These are the guys, phenomenal middle distance runners, win gold medals at the Olympic Games, have been doing for years, incredibly fit. Had a look further down, low cholesterol, low risk of heart disease, fantastic, jackpot, yes. What do they eat? Full fat milk, full fat milk, meat, very, very little veg, and blood, strangely enough. And so I'm thinking to myself, hold on a second, this can't be right, what's going on here? So I'm Googling, and all the time I'm getting the same kind of actions back, that these diets, or these populations that are really healthy, are actually eating what we would consider to be suboptimal diets. And then it hit me, bang, light bulb moment. That's because there is no one way to eat for optimal health. Optimal health is more than just diet. It's more than just the absence of disease or infection. There's a physical element, yes, the exercise and nutrition part which you all know about, but there's a mental part. There is a social part. And when you look at people like the Kitavans and the Maasai and the Aymaras and the Inuits, these people they live in close-knit communities, take lots of exercise, eat minimally processed foods, get out in the sun. Basically, they've got every other avenue covered. They've got all the ducks in a row. So socially and mentally, they're healthy. So they can have a suboptimal diet because everything else is covered. Because at the moment, our mental and social aspects are really to whack, the only thing we can focus on is our physical health, our exercise and our nutrition. Now, I know the guys at Elevon have been doing a fantastic job on this. You've got Tash over on yours, I've called a list of people now do this. There's Tash, there's Steph, Susie, Taylor, Dan, somebody else on there I've missed, but they've been all doing a fantastic job in keeping you exercising. And now, hopefully, it is my turn to help with the nutrition element of this. So I'm going to need you guys now, please, a little bit of audience participation. So everybody on here, lots of you now, can you just write on in the box below one healthy food and one bad food? Let's go, please. So there'd be good. Anyone? I'm not going to pick on anyone. I'm just going to see what your ideas are. I'm telling you this because I need you to follow my thought process, okay? If I just give you the answers, it means then that at some point in the future when you have to make these decisions yourself, you'll be able to follow what I'm asking you to do, if that makes sense. No? Hi, Kim. Okay, look. So, as I say, I'm after some examples of healthy food. Anyone? No? Okay. So I'll give you some examples then. So usually when I ask this question, people say to me, healthy food, salads. And when I'm looking at bad food, I'm looking at chocolate. Okay. Let's turn that round on its head. Imagine I come to you. I'm overweight. I don't exercise much. It's not hard to imagine that really, is it? I'm overweight. I don't exercise much. And my breakfast every day is a croissant and a latte, and for lunch I have something pre-packed from Sainsbury's. Thanks, Kim. Chocolate, right? Broccoli, thank you, thanks. So every morning for breakfast I have a croissant and latte, then there's some pre-packed stuff for lunch, and then I have pizza and chips and burgers for my tea, and that's my habitual diet. I've been doing that for years, right? And then one day, just one day, I have some broccoli. Has that broccoli made me healthy? Has that broccoli made me lose weight? No, it hasn't. So now, same scenario. I come to you, I exercise 2 or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, supremely healthy, eat lots and lots of green vegetables, and then one day, have some chocolate. Does that make me unhealthy? No. Can you see where I'm going with this? There is no one food in isolation that's going to make you super healthy. That's why I'm so against the shakes, the super smoothie shakes. There's not one food that's going to make you super healthy or unhealthy. It doesn't work like that. It's your long-term dietary practices that are going to affect your health, right? So the way you feel today, the way you felt yesterday, the way you're going to feel tomorrow, all down to those long-term dietary practices. It's more of a healthy diet than healthy food. If you want to look at it like this, think about things like cardiovascular disease, strokes, diabetes, all have cancer, all have links to obesity. Now, obesity doesn't happen overnight. You don't go to bed at 6% body fat, totally shredded, get up the next morning and think, shit, I can't see my toes anymore, right? It doesn't happen. It's the overconsumption of calories over time. Just like an alcoholic wouldn't have one glass of wine and become an alcoholic. It's the overconsumption of alcohol over a long period of time to a point of dependency. So I don't want you to think of healthy foods. I want you to think of healthy diets. And from this day forward, we're looking at that as opposed to just thinking, right, what can I dip in every day? Can I, if I have some broccoli today, have some salad, that's going to make a difference. It's not. It's your long-term dietary decisions and choices that's going to make a massive point. So, what do we mean by a healthy diet? As I said, health is a factor of the cumulative effects of your long-term dietary patterns, right? Now, again, being the nutritional magpie I came up with a quotation that I've pulled from various other sources, and it's this. Adherence to a eucaloric diet, so I'm reading this on my computer behind you, sorry. Adherence to a eucaloric diet, one that emphasises whole grain foods, has an abundance of variety of vegetables, along with good source of protein, meat or otherwise, is often all that's required for physical health to be achieved. Simple as that, but I'm going to break it down even more. So I talk all the time about calorie deficits, trying to lose weight, but I'm not talking about this now. When we talk about optimal diet for health, I'm looking at a eucaloric balance. That means you are going to eat in a calorie balance, not in a deficit. We're not trying to lose weight at this moment in time. We're thinking more about health, right? We're thinking about your immune system. So there's two parts to your immune system. There's your innate and your adaptive immune systems. And they are both affected by energy balance and being in a calorie deficit. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're affecting your innate immune system. And that is a generalised first line of defence against anything. Your adaptive immune system is a more targeted approach, but at this moment, we're looking at keeping your immune system high, not by feeding yourself turmeric or licking oranges. We're keeping in an energy balance. You want to focus on the calorie balance. So when you're looking at your plate and you're thinking, right, there's vegetables on there, and there's protein on there. Why protein? Okay, protein is the most important macronutrient. It helps your immune system. Think of any, as well as gains, obviously, you're thinking hair, skin, nails, all those are helped by protein consumption. But you're looking at things like enzymes, hormones, oxygen transport, hemoglobin is a protein. So we're looking at getting plenty of protein in your diet. How much protein? Okay. Look at it, I usually say to be about 1.6 grams per kilogram. To make that easy, if you weigh 100 kilos, right, times that by 1.6, that gives you 160. That's 160 grams of protein per day I want you to eat. Okay. So we've got our plate and we're looking at vegetables, looking at protein. But I then want you to look at, we're trying to maintain our weight. So I want you to look at that and ask yourself, is the size of food or the size of the portion on that plate relevant for the amount of exercise that I am going to be doing today? If it's not, then we need to reduce the size of portions. At this moment, there's a lot of us that are sedentary, so we should be eating less than we usually eat, right? So I don't need to dip into MyFitnessPal to work this out, because we don't need any more mental stress. We've got enough as it is. And the last thing is thinking, oh my God, how many times a day can you type Kit Kat into MyFitnessPal? I've been living on Kit Kats and clubs, you can probably tell. But I don't want to be fixated on these numbers, right? I want you to think, how can I improve my mental health through nutrition? Okay, so now we know roughly what the diet is, balance, vegetables and protein. How can we put it together? So I want to focus on what we're missing first. Excuse me 1 second. I want to focus on what we may be missing. Vegetables, right? I don't know anybody who eats enough vegetables. Well, probably 1 or 2, right? Josie, that'd be you, the vegan amongst us. So I don't know anybody who really eats enough vegetables. People struggle to get them down. Right, there is an easy way to do this, right? You need to eat lots of plants, but remain in a calorie balance. Everybody should be having a plant-based diet. That doesn't necessarily mean you eliminate all meat. It just means that you have to have the base of every meal is based on plants. So you're struggling to get plants in, a couple of easy ways to do them. If you've got a NutriBullet, bang them in there, sludge them up, it sounds really attractive. Mix them up, make yourself a smoothie. Now, I know I've just had to go about smoothies, but this is not a super smoothie. This is just trying to get some essential nutrients in. So make yourself a smoothie, drink it down, right? The other thing, now I used to do this, right? Still do it occasionally, just stick gravy on them. It's just far easier to get veg down. So if you're struggling, make yourself a smoothie, get some veg down, you like that. What else can we do? What else may be missing? Okay, incorporating good fats into your diet. So when I say good fats, what do I mean? Fish, olive oil, nuts, avocado, that type of thing. As mammals, we have a dietary requirement or a requirement for dietary fat of around 15% every day. So that's 15% of your daily calorie intake should come from fat. Without that, you can have an impaired immune system. Obviously, we don't need that much. An impaired immune system. Diminished recovery hormones, so think about testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. They're all going to be diminished. That can lead to a low mood, low libido, and just generally feeling crap, right? So don't so much think about, I've got to eliminate fats from my diet. We need to get some fats in there, but we're looking at those good fats, wherever they may be. Now, if you struggle with oily fish, you can supplement with omega-3 fish oils. These are fantastic things. They're called a nutraceutical. by that. Pharmaceutical companies have taken them on board, tried to change them, make them better, but they couldn't do. But there's nothing wrong with supplementing them. What do they do? Right, so they're antihypertensive, so they can help reduce blood pressure. Anti-hyperlipidemic, so reduce cholesterol levels in your blood, which is good. Antiplatelet activity, so reduce the chance of stroke. Antiarrhythmic, so anybody with heart arrhythmia, like myself, take those, that can help. And they have the same effect as ibuprofen, so non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, they can help with that. Whilst we're on about things we can supplement with, let's look at vitamin D at the same time. So vitamin D is, well, 50% of the population are deficient in vitamin D. It's quite handy actually in things like fat loss, helps with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, but it also helps your immune system. Now, I supplement with this. Vitamin D is very hard to get from your food. When I supplement, I take a certain amount every day, and for me to actually get that from my food, I'd have to actually eat 143 eggs per day. Not something I'm doing. So vitamin D supplementation is quite prudent, and vitamin B12 for vegans as well. Obviously, vitamin B12 comes from meat, but if you're not eating meat, then you need to get some of that in if you are a vegan. So what should we limit? So that's what we need to put into our diet, but what should we look at limiting? Okay, limiting refined starches. So what do I mean by a refined starch? If anybody knows, just put anything at the bottom, but I'm looking at things like white flour, white pasta, white rice. I mean, let's take white rice for an example. So what you do with rice, they take the whole grain, they take the brown rice, they remove the fibre, they remove the nutrients, they polish it just to make it look a bit more appealing to eat. Absolutely useless. Don't waste your calories on things like refined starches. Limit processed foods. So what do I mean by processed foods? We've probably all know, we've got a rough idea what I mean by that, but I'm thinking of any food that has any mechanical or chemical treatment to preserve it or change it in some way. So we want to keep those out of our diet. So think pre-packaged goods. What else can we do in terms of elimination? Okay, eliminate trans fats. Now I mentioned earlier on there was no such thing as a bad food. I kind of lied, there is a caveat to that. Trans fats, these are shocking. These are the kind of things that will manipulate peanut butter, yeah, thanks Nim. You can have peanut butter, yeah, and I tell you to eat it all the time. Eliminating trans fats. Where was I? Yeah, so these kind of things that manipulate cell DNA, can change cell structure, and can eventually lead to cancer. When I'm talking about trans fats, I'm thinking about deep fried foods, pastries, crisps, pies, anything you might get at Greggs, anything you might get at Ginster's, that type of thing. Totally avoid it if you can. Another thing to do with looking at avoiding, sugar. Right, so think about those healthy cereal bars you have in the morning. You've seen the type Belvita breakfast biscuits. It's basically a hobnob in a fancy box, right? Usually these things are high in sugar because they're low in fat, and they're called a healthy alternative. The thing about these healthy biscuits is because they say healthy on them, you think you can eat more of them. But usually all you're doing is over-consuming more processed calories. It's not such a great idea, so we're trying to knock that on the head. Sweets. Okay, so most people at the moment, bored senseless, load of kids at home, right, I'm just going to grab a handful of sweets, need to knock that on the head. Condiments. So we're looking at barbecue sauce and sweet chili sauce. Now, on their own, obviously not going to eat them on their own, but on their own, they're not a bad thing because it's not actually sugar that's going to make you fat. Surprise, surprise. What? No. Sugar is not going to make you fat. What happens is it's the effect that it has on non-palatable foods and how you then eat those. Let me give you an example. So you've got a plate of pancakes in front of you. There's nothing on them. You start to eat them, 2 or 3 mouthfuls, you're going to get bored. But suddenly then you pour maple syrup on the top and you can polish off a whole plate. It wasn't the maple syrup that was making you fat. It was the fact that you now overconsume those processed foods, those higher calorie foods, and that is why you put weight on. So sugar, yes, we need to keep our sugar levels low due to the cardiovascular disease risks, but sugar is not wholly responsible for how much weight you are putting on. Soft drinks. So when I'm looking at soft drinks, these are full sugar drinks, full sugar coats, etc. You can drink artificially sweetened Cokes and pop. Not a problem with that. There's actually not enough good evidence, there's some anecdotal evidence, but there's not enough good evidence to show that artificial sweeteners aren't really bad for you. So yeah, feel free to consume those. Something else we may want to look at limiting is our alcohol consumption, so our alcohol intake. At the moment, not a lot of people are struggling in terms of mental and social aspects of their life. So the first thing you might want to do, turn to the bottle. Why not? Yeah. But if you're going to look at infrequently and in small amounts if you possibly can. You know, they are calories at the end of the day, and we're trying to maintain that energy balance so we don't be taking in too many empty calories. If you are going to have them, try them with a low calorie mixer. As I've just mentioned, there's no real good evidence to say that artificial sweeteners are bad, so have a low calorie lemonade in there and intermix your drinks. So maybe have an alcoholic drink and then a low calorie drink, then another alcoholic drink, and just mix it up like that. Try to avoid alcopops as well. Really high sugar intake, not the best for us. So what can we take home from this? How can we put this onto one umbrella? Okay, come back to eating traditional foods. So eat real foods, less processed foods, more vegetables. We can't get enough of the veg, right? All right, thanks for letting me know about that. What can I say? Virgin media for you. Don't buy them. Practical and easy to follow steps. So energy balance, as I've mentioned, to keep your immune system up. Don't be eating in a calorie deficit. It's an energy balance that we're after. Okay, as I've already mentioned, energy deficits can impair your immune system. To maintain that energy balance, you may have to prepare your meals. So yes, meal prep and meal frequency as you may see fit. High protein snacks, as I've mentioned again, protein can help run your immune system. They can also make you feel full for longer. So, look at high protein snacks, especially when you're sat at home doing nothing. It's very easy to grab a high sugary snack. Just have something like a protein shake or a pot of yogurt to one side. Very easy to make, very easy to prepare and store, and really easy to get down quickly. And last of all, make sure that what you're listening to is actually evidence-based. So when you're on Instagram, if you're sitting there and you see someone just, start to scroll up and then say, drink this super smoothie, don't believe them, just carry on brewing by. You cannot improve your immune system overnight by drinking a super shake. So has anybody got any questions for me, please? I'm going to have a look on this phone because I think that the questions might be coming through a little bit quicker on here. So just bear with me a second. Just bear with me. Right, we're on. Right. Polish off the whole plate. It wasn't the maple syrup that was making you fat. It was the fact that you now overconsume those processed foods, those higher calorie foods, those higher calorie foods. Hi Trixie. So can anybody see? Can anybody just write in the bottom, just write a comment and say yes, we can hear what you're saying, because it seems there's a massive delay on this video. Foods, and that's why you put weight on. So should we? Yes, we need to keep wholly responsible for how much weight you are putting on. Soft drinks. So when I look at soft drinks, these are full sugar drinks. You need full sugar Cokes, etc. You can drink artificially sweetened Cokes and pop. It actually looks to me, guys, like unfortunately, the connection's down, don't know why, and there's a massive, like a 3 or 4 minute delay on this, unfortunately. So what I want you to do, if you possibly can, if you get any questions that you want to ask, if you send them to info@elmperformance.com, just email them through. I'll be more than happy for them to pass them to me, and I'll answer any questions you may have. Not a problem. Take care, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all soon.